Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are starting on chapter 9, On the Road Again. So we're just gonna jump right in, okay? It is now Friday morning around 7 a.m. as Damien wakes up and begins the day by preparing a drink with sleeping pills for Kara, Victoria, Jeremiah, and Beaver. After preparing the drinks, Damien gets Victoria ready, taking her to the shower again. Now that she's clean, Damien takes her back into the room, placing her in a cage and leaving the bottle with the drink he prepared for her. He injects her with another sedative, taking the cage to the van, and places a call to Dr. Brooks so they can discuss the payment for Beaver's treatment. Good morning, Dr. Brooks. It's Damien Hall. Good morning, Mr. Hall, Dr. Brooks replies. I just wanted to let you know that I cannot come meet you today due to a family emergency, but I would like to give you my credit card so you can charge the payment now. I am truly sorry for any problems with this. Sorry. I am truly sorry for any problems this will cause you. I would have preferred to have done this in person, but I can understand an emergency. Let me have your card number. The next time you're here, we will discuss further treatment, Dr. Brooks replies. Sure thing, Doc, Damien says, giving him the card number. I hope all turns out for the best, Mr. Hall, Dr. Brooks replies. Thank you and have a great day, Damien says as he hangs up. After talking to Dr. Brooks, he brings in another 3 cages into the van so he can finish setting up before heading to Desiree to pick up the kids. This time he's using the cages to bring Caesar, Rusty, and Simba while leaving the other dogs to watch over the property. Desiree will be watching them. Damien also brings a few items from the barn into the van, a sledgehammer, several bear traps, 3 gallons of acid, along with a tank of scorpions. It's now 8:15 a.m. when Damien calls Desiree to let her know he's on his way. Damien arrives and puts the kids' suitcases in the back of the van on top of the cages. He's running out of space to keep adding items. He tells Kara to give him her suitcases, to which she replies she doesn't have anything with her. She'll work for him once they are back in the city so she can get a few things. She's willing to do whatever is needed to earn money. Damien tells her that isn't a problem and he'll help her out the best he can. They all say goodbye to Desiree and get into the van. Damien lets them know he prepared a couple of bottles with drinks for them. Giving one to Jeremiah and Beaver, he offers one to Kara, but she turns it down, saying she isn't thirsty at the moment. The kids drink the entire bottle and start to feel tired. Damien watches them through the rearview mirror as they fall asleep. Kara stares out the window, looking at the highway. Every time she sees a police officer, she looks toward Damien to avoid them seeing her face. He notices this, adding to the level of discomfort he already feels with her. Halfway home, Damien stops for gas and snacks for the rest of the trip. He calls Louis to let him know he's making great time on the road. He's actually ahead of schedule. Louis informs him that Andy and his men are almost done with the job and they should be done or very close to finishing it when he gets home. Damien tells Louis he'll be home in about 2 hours. He'll deal with Andy once he gets home regarding the payment and the snooping around the property at night. 1 hour goes by and Andy has just finished Damien's special requests around the property. Andy is about to leave when he sees Louis standing on the porch. He walks over to him to let him know he'll be here for the money tomorrow. Andy's workers aren't happy with not getting paid today as Andy promised. They're well aware he has a trip planned for tomorrow with his family and will be gone for 2 months. Andy tells them not to worry. He'll stop by tomorrow morning to get the money and leave it in the company's mailbox for them to pick up. Noticing his workers are still not convinced, he tells them his family is leaving tonight and he'll be taking an early afternoon flight so he can get their money. Full of doubt, the workers aren't thrilled with the news. Another hour goes by and Damien is finally home. Wanting to take care of the money situation with Andy, he inspects the property and calls him so he can come get it tonight instead of tomorrow. Damien lets him know he's really impressed with the work, especially the giant fence. It's the best he's ever seen and the rest of the work looks great. Damien gets off the phone when he hears a voice in the distance. Hi, Damien, he hears in the distance as he looks out the door. How was the trip? He realizes it's the Toomies. So how was it? You were gone for a while and got a fence up. Why? The Toomies ask as Damien turns the other way and leaves without saying a word. After ignoring the Toomies, Damien goes to the van and drives inside the fence. Damien backs the van into the garage so he can unload it, calling Louis over to help him so he can help him and to meet the kids and Kara. Louis gets scared once he sees the teeth on Jeremiah and Beaver, but he looks shocked when he sees Kara. Having the same feeling as Damien when he first met her, he feels that she's a bad person, and he doesn't see her, and he has seen her somewhere before. Damien tells Louis the last cage is staying in the van for a while longer. That's the one that Victoria is in, and he doesn't want Louis to know what he's doing with the last cage and what's inside of it. Ignoring what Damien just told him, Louis rushes over to the cage and is in complete and utter shock when he sees what's inside. "What the F are you doing, Damien?" Louis asks as he sees Victoria inside the cage. "What do you mean?" Damien replies calmly. "Why do you have her like this?" Louis asks angrily. "Well, why not?" "Because it's effing wrong, you little a-hole. You need to let her go now," Louis replies as he tries to open the cage. "I suggest to keep your cool, Lou. I won't want you to do anything stupid and hurt yourself," Damien replies calmly. "Give me the effing key. I won't let you do this, and I won't cover up for you or anyone else in the family anymore," Louis replies as he struggles to open the cage. "I'm sorry, Lou. I can't give you anything, and I suggest you let me be," Damien mockingly tells Louis as Victoria wakes. "Shut the hell up and give me the key," Louis screams, grabbing Damien by the throat. "Where's the key to the lock, a-hole?" Damien's face turns blue. "It's in my pocket with the other keys. I'll get it for you. Just let me go." "Here they are." Damien grabs a little spray bottle out of his pocket along with the keys. "Give it to me now, Damien," Louis demands as Damien coughs and drops the keys. "I'm sorry, brother," Damien whispers as he sprays Louis in the face with acid. "F, Lou. I told you to stop because I didn't want you to hurt yourself. Now look at the mess you've made," Louis screams in pain. "Look at you now, all effed up, crying and screaming like a little bee you've always been. Now I hope you can forgive me, as you know it would be stupid of me to let you go. It would only bring me problems." "You can't do this to me. We're brothers," Louis yells. "Sorry, Lou. You were warned. You're never leaving, and this is now your home. Don't worry, you'll have your own room. Your brother is going to take good care of you for your life," Damien replies, laughing. "No, Damien, you don't have to be like him. You're so much better than him. F, you can't do this to me," Louis says. "Sorry, you were warned. And as he would tell you, there are rules, and I'm not going to break them for you." "I'm sorry, brother. I won't say a word. I have a family," Louis says. "Don't worry. We won't miss you. Besides, now I get to share my hobby with my brother, and you know I've been doing this for a long time now. Funny thing, Lou, you never acted like my brother. You were always rude, and you were never there for me. You were having several issues with our father, and now you want forgiveness. Did you just think that because you would buy me and the rest of the family gifts, you would be able to buy our love?" That's what it should be. "No one in the family misses you now, and we sure as hell won't miss you when you disappear without a notice. No one wanted to talk to you. I'm sorry. I can't believe you guys feel this way about me, and no one said a thing to me," Louis replies. "No one wanted to talk to you because you don't listen, and when you do listen, you quickly catch an attitude. No one wants to deal with that anymore. Now, fortunately for us, we don't have to, because even though you were trying to be nice, it's your actions that caused this ugly situation for you. Now enough talking. Let's get you to your room." "You're not a killer, Damien. You're not like them," Louis replies. "I don't kill, Lou. I've never killed anyone. But I don't need to tell you that because you will discover what I do firsthand," Damien answers as he hits Louis across the temple with a hammer, knocking him out. Damien takes Louis to his room, chaining and gagging him so the kids don't realize he has other people in the house. Once Damien is sure Louis is secured in the room, he wakes up Beaver, Jeremiah, and Kara to show them the house and area. Beaver and Jeremiah cannot believe their eyes. The house and property amaze them. The same goes for Kara, who looks around like she won the lottery. Damien watches them go down the neighborhood. Seeing there are a few houses down, he rushes over to the van and grabs Victoria, taking her down to the basement. Carr and the kids return from their walk impressed. They do another quick walk around the property before heading back inside. Once inside, Damien tells them to get ready because he's going to take them to get a bite to eat and show them where he works. They each head into a bathroom and get ready. Damien waits for them while he thinks of things to do later tonight. They leave the house and Damien drives by the bank to show them where he works. Amazed by the size of the bank, Carl thinks of a way to make some easy money. Damien doesn't stop to take them inside, but he promises he'll do that one day soon. He asks them if they would like to go to one of his favorite restaurants. They head towards an Italian restaurant owned by an old friend of his. They stop by the restaurant and have a quick meal. Leaving the restaurant, they go for a drive throughout the town. Looking through the window, Beaver sees a few stores she would like to work for. In the meantime, Carr isn't too impressed with the stores, but is extremely impressed with Damien's bank. She thinks it's only a matter of time before she makes it big. Damien slips sleeping pills in the water bottles and gives them each a bottle halfway to the house. They doze off while Damien heads back to the house and puts them in bed. He grabs his cell phone. "Hey, where are you?" Damien asks as he calls Andy. "I'm on my way to the store to get some last-minute things for the trip," Andy replies. "Why don't you come over and get your money?" "I don't know. It's getting late and the family is waiting for me. The flight leaves in 3 hours," Andy replies. "Come on, it'll be quick. I'll meet up with you and drop it off." "Okay, I'm at the supermarket on Holland Drive," Andy replies. "Perfect. I'll see you in a few minutes," Damien says as he hangs up. Damien grabs the duffel bag, putting the money inside. On the drive over, he passes by the post office as he's distracted by a homeless man sleeping on the corner. He stops the truck and walks over, noticing the man is trying to keep warm with newspapers and a bottle of rum. Without saying a word, Damien turns away, walking back to the truck to grab a blanket and a pair of boots and gloves. Damien places the boots and gloves near the man and covers him with the blanket. The man wakes up not knowing how to react, since this is the first act of kindness he has experienced since he became homeless. "Thank you, sir. This means a lot," the man says. "Not a problem. I would want someone to help me if I needed it." "Sir, do I know you?" the man asks. "I don't believe so. Usually people walk by and throw things at me or say something nasty to me, but no one has ever shown me any interest in me," the man says. "Well, I'm not like most people. In fact, I can offer you a job and a place to live if you like." "I'm dead, right?" the man asks. "Not at all, but it could be your lucky day. All you need to do is answer a question honestly, and you might have a job that will give you everything you want." "Sure. What's the question?" the man asks. "Are you a man that I can trust to do things without doubting or questioning me?" Damien replies. "Yes, whatever you shall need, sir," the man answers. "Great. Just grab whatever you want to take with you. You start now." "Perfect. I don't have anything to take except what you just gave me," the man says. "Don't worry. Do a good job tonight, and tomorrow I'll give you everything you need." "So what kind of work will I be doing?" the man asks. "You'll be my butler and my right-hand man, one of the most important people in my house." "Wow, you must be really important," the man says. "So what's your name?" Damien asks with a smile. "My name is Trevor," the man replies. "Okay, Trevor. Now jump in the back of the truck and cover yourself with a blanket. Now remember, no questions asked and not a word of this to anyone." "Sounds good, sir. I'll show you that I won't let you down," Trevor answers. Damien jumps in the truck, followed by Trevor, who jumps in the back. Following the instructions he was given, they head towards Andy while Damien is cautious with the speed. Andy is waiting in line to pay for the items and looks up through the window to see if Damien is pulled into the parking lot. Damien tries to call Andy to let him know he's on his way, but like most stores in the area, there's no cell service. Damien arrives at the store while Andy places the items on the belt and waits on the cashier to bring him up. Damien sees Andy's truck, pointing to Trevor to look at the truck. He nods in approval. Then he proceeds to get out of the back of the truck. Walking over to Andy's truck, he pulls out a switchblade and slashes the back tires. After slashing the tires, Trevor runs to the back of Damien's truck and hides under the blanket again. Andy walks out of the store, loading the truck with the groceries. He looks back to the store and sees Damien walking into the store. He's concerned he won't make it back in time to see his family leave tonight. A few minutes later, Damien comes out with a case of water. Andy walks over to Damien as they talk about the work around the house. Damien insists on Andy driving over to his house so he can do a walk around the property. Andy really didn't want to go there, but he agrees so he can get his money. He notices his back tires are flat and asks Damien for a ride to his house. He'll call a tow truck and drop off his truck before he leaves. Tomorrow, Damien agrees to let him ride with him as they leave the supermarket. Arriving at the house after a long and quiet drive, Damien parks the truck in the garage. Walking out of the garage, Damien sees the Toomeys looking out of their window at him while Andy looks like a proud father staring at his work. Damien ignores them. Walking back into the garage, they walk into the house, grabbing a flashlight to go through all the work he did before giving him his money. So, do you like the work? Andy asks. Actually, yes, I do. By the way, I didn't tell you this earlier because I knew you were just getting home. I didn't want to bother you, but my machine broke while I was doing extra work for you. I was hoping you would pay for the repair, Andy says. You want me to pay for the repair for the machine that your guys broke while you were doing a job you're getting paid extremely well to do? Well, I was hoping you would kindly pay for it, Andy answers. So what's the grand total, Andy? Damien asks as they walk along the fenced yard. Well, with the work, extra work, and the repairs, it will come out to $18,000. Andy replies, Wow, $18,000? Do you really think this job is worth that much? What do you mean? Of course I do. I stand by my work, and that's what I told you. That's why I told you would like the work once completed, Andy answers. Besides, I wasn't counting on extra work and the machine breaking down. I take it it's my fault it's my fault. You were wrong when you first quoted me, and it's also my fault. Your guys broke the machine. I tell you what. Let's go to the garage. I'll give you the money that's in the truck before I kill you and say you were trespassing. I'm sorry. What did you say? Annie asks. You effing heard me. Now you're just pissing me off. So let's go get your money before I add you to my list. What list? What are you talking about? Andy asks. Listen, I'm going to give you the money for the machine repair, so shut up and let's go. Damien, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to scam you out of more money. Well, honestly, I did try to pull a fast one for that. And for that, I am sorry, Andy says. Trust me, Andy. I understand it's all hard a world we live in, especially with this economy. Everybody is looking for a quick buck, but just let me leave it. Just let me leave and it will be like it never happened, Andy says. You're right, Andy. This will be like it never happened because after tonight, the whole situation will be done. Now, please, open the garage door for me so I can get the money out of the truck. Okay, not a problem, Andy says. Concerned that Damien is going to hit him, Andy turns the doorknob, opening the garage door slowly while he turns around to look at Damien. With an annoyed look on his face, signals him to open the door all the way. Once the door opens, Rusty and Caesar jump on his chest, knocking him down on the floor. Rusty goes after his right ankle as Damien stands back, watching Andy struggle to get back on his feet. Damien now walks into the garage, knocking on the back of the truck and removes the blanket off of Trevor. Come on, we have work to do. Okay, boss, lead the way, Trevor answers. The dogs attack Andy as Damien and Trevor refuse to say anything. In complete shock, Andy continues to watch. He has never seen anything like this before. Damien looks at Trevor to make sure he can handle what he's experiencing, and he's proud to see that he's going along without asking any questions. Desperately, Andy tries to get the dogs off of him, but to no avail. While Damien stands over Caesar and orders Trevor to stand by Andy, seeing that Andy is being viciously attacked, Trevor offers him a hand, but once Andy reaches to grab it, he's punched on the bridge of his nose. Much to Damien's delight, Damien walks into the garage with a big smile on his face after what he just saw. He leaves Trevor alone with Andy for a few minutes. Damien grabs a shovel in the corner of the garage while he can hear Trevor in the other room mocking Andy. Damien calls off the dogs, taking them with him outside into the backyard. He digs a hole in the far end of the yard while Trevor grabs a chain that was in the back of the truck and beats Andy with it. After watching last few minutes of Trevor beating Andy, Damien orders him to tie Andy up with a chain and drag him to the hole. Andy pants, screams, and struggles to break free. Damien walks over to him, kicking him in the head, and places a gag in his mouth. Trevor smiles, taking pride in what he's doing, and believes this will only be the beginning of a new adventure that can help them release stress. They throw Andy in the hole, burying him up to his neck, and cover his head with a bucket so nobody can see him. Damien and Trevor wait a few minutes in the yard for Andy to react one way or another before they continue to have their way with him. Trevor drags a hose over to water the yard while they wait. They become impatient. After 20 minutes, Andy tries to yell as Damien and Trevor hit the bucket with the shovel. Damien makes a hole on top of the bucket so Trevor can drop the hose in to fill it with water. Andy pants, trying to move his arms as he tries to remove as much dirt as possible to get loose. Damien removes the bucket after a few minutes of having him underwater. Trevor punches and kicks him in the face. Wow, you're really enjoying this, Trevor? Man, you have no idea how much fun I'm having. It's such a effing rush, Trevor replies. Will it always be like this? Most nights, but the only thing is, I don't kill people, so don't let that thought cross your mind. I keep them in my house and in my cabin. This is so exciting. How long have you been doing this? Trevor asks. I've been doing this for such a long time now that this will be your job. Let's get him out of here and to his room. Tomorrow, I'll show you the kids and Kara. Great, you have a family. I love kids, Trevor replies. Trust me, it's not like that. We will handle this in the morning. Okay, boss, Trevor replies. Trevor digs Andy out of the hole and drags him back into the house as Damien walks in front of them so he can tell him where to put him. Once they're inside the house, Damien opens the door to the basement, turning on the lights, and heads downstairs. Trevor follows him down the stairs, dragging Andy along and making sure he hits every step on the way down. Damien drags out a human-sized bulletproof box full of thumbtacks and tells Trevor to throw him in there. Trevor lifts Andy up to his feet and pushes him into the box. Andy, now in the box, struggles with the pain as Damien and Trevor close him in and push the box back into the wall. After Damien and Trevor hide Andy in the basement, they hear a loud scream coming from upstairs. They rush up the stairs as the screams get louder. Once they get to the top floor, Damien realizes the screams are coming from Beaver's room. Damien and Trevor walk into Jeremiah's room to make sure he is okay, and they see he's still sleeping peacefully in his bed. Suddenly, they hear the screams again. Damien rushes over to see Beaver and sees Kara standing on top of her, stabbing her repeatedly. What the F is wrong with you? Damien yells, rushing over. Die, Bee, die! Get the F off her, you crazy bee! This bee deserves this, and you're all going to die here tonight, Kara says as Beaver takes her final breath. Damien is shocked by what just occurred while Kara runs towards him, waving the knife. Trevor jumps in front of Damien, pushing him out of the way. She now focuses on Trevor as she tries to stab him. Much to the dismay of Damien, who is shocked over Beaver's death, Kara grows frustrated, not having counted on Trevor being there. He's a lot faster than she is. What's the matter, ugly? Is it hard for you to stab me? Trevor asks. Come on, we can have fun with those beautiful green eyes and that dark hair of yours. You know you want to have a good time. Come on, let's get on the floor and have fun with that perfectly toned body of yours, Trevor continues to mock her. You know what's going to be fun? When I have you on the floor, the only thing that's going to happen is I'm going to have your blood all over me, you effing piece of crap, Kara replies. Kara, you do know that you're never getting out of here, right? Damien asks, regaining his senses. Of course I'm getting out. I was made for situations like these. I'm going to take as much of your crap as I can, Kara replies. You're really unbelievable. I take you in, and this is the things I get. Killing another one of my guests, and you think you're going to clean me out? The funny part is you believe that, and you believe that you're going to make it out of here. I respect your confidence in your abilities, but don't underestimate me. That would be a grave error, Damien whistles for the dogs. Kara tries to reach them while they play defense, mocking her as Rusty and Caesar sneak up from behind. They knock her to the ground. She backs up into the corner, unaware the dogs are in the house. She realizes she has put herself in a dire situation. Damien and Trevor walk over to the corner, trying to grab her. She swings at Damien, but the dogs quickly react to her motion and bite her arm. She screams and drops the knife as Trevor ties her legs. Taking advantage that she's struggling to break free from the dogs, Damien places his hands on her shoulder, holding her down so they can untie her arms. Now tell me, why do you look so familiar? Damien asks, sitting her up. I don't know what you're talking about. People look alike in this world, dummy, Kara replies. No, it's more than that. I've seen you on television or the newspaper. Besides, there's something dark inside of you, and I'm going to have to cut it out of you, Damien says as he grabs a scalpel. You can take that and shove it up your butt, Kara replies. It's interesting that you say that. I was thinking it would be yours instead, Damien says as he pushes her face down onto the floor. You can't be serious, Kara asks as they tear off her pants and underwear. I'm beyond serious. Since you won't make it out of here, we can do whatever we want to you. Boss, it's been so long since I've had a woman. Do you mind if I have fun with her before we kill her? Trevor asks. By all means, Trevor. This is your girl from this point forward. Do with her as you see fit, Damien replies while Trevor drops his pants. Please don't do this, Kara begs as Trevor lies next to her, rubbing her thighs. I'm sorry, but this is out of my control. He can do whatever he wants to you because you're his girlfriend now, Damien says, placing his hand on her head. Trevor goes behind her. Tell me what you did that makes you look so familiar, Damien asks as Trevor sodomizes her. Oh Lord, please stop, Kara screams as Trevor goes harder and deeper. Keep going, Trevor. Don't stop until you're effing satisfied. Now, are you going to tell me why? I killed my family and a bunch of other people, Kara replies. I knew I'd seen you before. Look what I caught from my collection, and all it cost me was a kid I wanted to get rid of anyway. In a way, I feel like I owe you. But you ruined it by trying to kill me. You will always be a part of my family since you're never going to leave. Please make him stop, Kara begs as she bleeds from the thrusting. Why would he stop? You belong to him now as a sex slave, and you belong to me as my torture doll. You're my angel, sweetheart, and this is only the beginning, Trevor says with a smile on his face as he climaxes. Trevor grabs Kara by the neck, kisses her on the cheek, and holds her down while Damien runs a scalpel right across the side of her face. Kara struggles to break free from Trevor as Damien runs the scalpel down her entire right side of the body. Trevor bites her chin and licks her blood. Damien peels off the skin from her right thigh while Trevor continues to bite her. He's getting turned on by her cries but wants to keep punishing her. Damien grabs the bottle of rum out of the duffel bag and stands over Kara. He opens the bottle, pouring the rum all over her as she cringes in pain. Trevor tries to calmly shut her up, but grows frustrated quickly. He punches her on the bridge of the nose, breaking it so she can understand that she has no say or control in the situation. Damien now pours rum over her face to clean the wound. Do you see what you've made me do, sweetie? Trevor asks. Please forgive me. This wasn't supposed to happen. Don't worry, we'll take care of you and make you as good as new. Please, boss, let's fix her now, Trevor begs. Damien grabs a hammer, spike, duct tape, needle, thread, and torch from the bag. Trevor looks inside, impressed with everything he has managed to fit in the bag. Trevor binds her arms and legs just as a precaution since they don't want to chase or have her grab something to hurt them. Damien turns on the radio. Damien stands over her with a hammer and a spike, placing it on her nose, while Trevor is once again on the floor holding her shoulders. He whispers that everything will be okay in her ear. Damien strikes the spike with a hammer twice to finish breaking the nose bone and wiggles the nose to try and rip it off her face. Kara screams in agony. Trevor tries to calm her down, but to no avail. Damien now reaches into his back pocket and grabs the pocket knife. Kara tries to speak, but no words come out of her mouth. Damien starts to cut off the skin from the nose so he can remove it entirely. Damien looks over at Trevor and sees that he's really concerned for Kara's well-being. He turns on the torch as Trevor grabs the nose and removes it from her face without asking Damien any questions. Damien now burns the hole they created to stop the bleeding. Kara continues to cry uncontrollably. Damien places the torch on the floor and signals to Trevor that he's leaving the room for a minute. Trevor lies on the floor and rubs her shoulders. He kisses her on the cheek and neck to calm her down. Kara is frozen with fear. Damien walks back into the room with a bottle of water and a bag of salt. He pours the salt into the bottle. After shaking the bottle, he pours the mixed water into the wounds, causing a burning sensation over her face. Damien looks on while she struggles, much to his delight and displeasure of Trevor. What's wrong with you? Nothing. I just don't want to torture her anymore. She's a sick individual, but she doesn't deserve this, Trevor says. Are you effing kidding me? This is your handiwork here. I'm just going with what you started. I know, boss, but I think she's had enough, Trevor says. Well, it's not up to you. This psycho wanted to kill and rob me. She's lucky this is all she's gotten. But you're right, this isn't fun anymore. You just ruined it for me. Damien stitches the wound. Trevor looks into Kara's eyes, winking at her as if he has accomplished something special by stopping Damien's attack on her, at least for the moment. Kara looks back into his eyes, flashing a smile to show her gratitude. Damien continues to work on her so she doesn't lose any more blood or catch an infection. Damien glares at Trevor with a disgusted look in his eyes. Disappointed with how Trevor reacted to the situation, he walks out of the room without saying a word, locking the door behind him. Trevor doesn't say a word to him and just lies on the floor next to Kara. Damien decides to get a workout and to blow off steam. He hits the punching bag because he doesn't want to hurt Trevor. He thinks he might have been a bit harsh on Trevor, especially since he did such a great job in handling Andy. It's his first time doing anything remotely like this. Damien decides to cut him some slack. Damien completes several squats at the weight bench. He looks into the mirror to see his facial expression while the sweat drips down his face. He focuses on his blue eyes. He drops the weights and walks over to the mirror, glancing at his reflection. He's impressed with how he's managed to transfer himself throughout the years, but he looks at his spiked blonde hair and rugged beard, losing himself in his eyes. He decides that he should go see Trevor, so there are no hard feelings between them. Trevor hears the lock open, but doesn't say a word to Damien. He's just happy he could convince Damien to stop the brutal attack. He feels closer to her now and enjoys the moment. Damien doesn't walk into the room, but leaves the door unlocked in case Trevor wants to come upstairs and go to the bathroom or get something to eat. Damien grabs a pair of clippers as he contemplates giving himself a haircut. Unsure that it's something he really wants to do, he places the clippers on the table. A few hours have gone by and Trevor is still on the floor next to Kara, who is still in shock over everything that happened. Damien is now watching a movie in the living room and orders food. He grows concerned that Trevor is going soft. He doesn't offer him anything and lets him decide when he wants to come up for food. Not bothered by anything that Damien is doing, he understands he's reacting out of anger. He wants to give him some time to cool off and more time to spend with Kara. Damien is angry, but he doesn't want to hurt his new partnership with Trevor. He has ruined previous partnerships and just wishes Trevor would see things his way. He is bothered the most by the fact that Trevor has developed feelings for Kara and refuses to torture her anymore. Damien tries to calm down by eating his food in peace while sitting on his favorite chair to watch a movie. Trevor has fallen asleep with his head on Kara's shoulder. Kara wants to make the most out of the opportunity in front of her and looks for something she can use to break free. She spots the duffel bag next to the door. Her instincts tell her to go for the bag, but she knows any movement might wake him up. She reaches for the bag with her legs, which proves to be quite difficult since she's still tied up. Damien changes the channel to the security camera and sees what's happening in each of the rooms. Damien notices Trevor sleeping on Kara, which makes him realize just how much he misses Desiree. He also sees Kara trying to reach the bag. He isn't worried about her getting free, but Kara makes a sudden jump, causing her shoulder to move, waking Trevor. "What are you doing? Are you trying to get us both killed?" Trevor asks. "I'm trying to free myself because I'm not willing to die here," Kara replies. "Don't worry about dying. He won't kill you because I won't let him.